financially, but I'd love to see them get to. But of course, they didn't deserve what happened in the first game. They should have beat Real Madrid. They were the better team. When you lose the first game and it's a home, it puts big pressure on.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the ranch. I'm Jared Paul, and today I'm going to introduce a new tree to the channel. I've said as of recently, like the past 6 months, I don't need any more trees. I'm just going to maintain what I have. I'm really happy with everything I have, the collection, and let's see where it goes. And then maybe in the future when we're starting a homeschool program with Stella, we'll do trees from seed again. But for right now, I have all I can handle. But Laura doesn't listen to me, and for my 40th birthday, she found a really awesome tree. She tends to do that. Very resourceful online, and she did not disappoint for my 40th, trust me. So when I was in the Marine Corps, I was stationed in Okinawa, Japan for a year, and that's basically like Japan's Hawaii, you know, a series of little islands. This one is about, I don't know, you could drive up and down the coast in about an hour and 15 minutes. Really cool, and I got to do just that. Absolutely loved it out there. And along the roadsides out there, they have a unique tree called the Okinawan holly. As you know, a holly here in North America, they're cold hardy, and they are, I believe, a deciduous evergreen. So stay green year round, don't lose their leaves in the winter, yada yada. But this one grows in very warm zones, I believe zones 10 and 11. So pretty much it's going to be an indoor tree for me, with the exception of 2-3 months during the summer, just like my palm trees, my lemon trees, and trees of that nature. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce that little bad boy. It's really cool. It's got a lot of nice little leaves and branching already. I'm excited about it. So that's what's coming up on today's episode of Jarhead Bonsai. All right, so here's Mommy and Stella. Mommy's the one that found the little tree. Oh, now she's going to kill me because I woke the baby. Anyways, I have the Okinawan holly over here. And I've been toying with some potting ideas, which pot it's going to enjoy. But for now, as I do with most trees that I do not grow from seed, I like when I first get them to throw them under this nice little grow lamp for like 12 to 14 hours a day, and just let it kind of acclimate to my house and settle in, making sure that the soil stays moist. These, they said they let them dry out in between waterings, which is true with most like subtropicals and tropicals. So kind of like this pot. That one's from Japan. And this stuff came with its own organic and slow release bonsai food every 3 to 4 weeks, granule around the soil, tiny pinch each application to avoid growth of mold. Bonsai-etc.com. So I think it was actually on Etsy that she found these guys. But I'm just loving this tree. You see, it's already got a little woody trunk starting. I was pleasantly surprised that even though they are holly leaves, they're tiny. And that's really cool, because if you know true hollies in North America, they have like huge, spiky, pointy leaves. But this is going to be cool to work with. So yeah, so rather than make this the shortest non-short video in Jarhead Bonsai history, I have come up with my winterization plan for the majority of my trees outside. So I'm going to kind of walk you around and show you the progress of the trees that's come through the summer and into early fall. I'm really pleased with them. I did a lot of group plantings this year with my pines that are from seed, Connecticut red pines, Chinese red pines, Japanese black, some white pines. So everything's progressing between 2 years and 4 years worth of training with me. So if you are new to the game and you're like in your first 6 months thinking, oh man, is it going to take a decade to start to get a collection? Well, you can observe some of the trees that I have going now, the different species, and you'll know what to expect in 2 to 4 years of growth. So let's get outside and I'll talk about winterization. All right, so we have the sun coming in from behind these, but these are kind of what I was talking about, these group plantings. Japanese black, some Connecticut reds. See, they're a little bit smaller. And, oh, I got some more out there. Oh, right here. Jeez Louise. All right, so right below, same kind of thing. Just starting to get some branching. These are little seedlings I grew from seed. I want to say this is third growing season. So my idea on winterization, last year these were in all little tiny nursery training pots, and so they survived. So I know that I'm good with the majority of these as far as cold hardiness. But for the ones that I would be bringing inside, what I did the last 2 years was I brought them inside when the first frost was coming. Okay, so we're pretty much talking my birches, my maples, zelkovas. Let's see what else I got that would do that. My Japanese maples, this crepe myrtle. So, you know, when I know it was going to be about 32, definitely the lemon tree and my 2 palm trees, which if you saw me lop these huge fronds off of this bad boy, I've got a nice layer of growth, and then very rare I'm getting a second one in the same season. So that pruning back to complete defoliation, if you saw that video, totally worked. So you could do that with your sago palms. Okay, I'm trying not to get distracted. So that's when I would bring them inside. So with the maples and things, what I was doing, I was bringing them right into the basement and setting them into a period of dormancy. Okay, and so I would let them stay in the basement like most of December, January, and February, and then I would get impatient and I would bring them up from the basement and they would all bud out, and my house looks like a friggin' forest, and it's gorgeous. But then with those trees specifically, I also have some Kentucky yellowwoods doing the same thing. With those trees specifically, like the leaves look amazing inside, but then for the rest of spring, the summer, and fall, I don't get an attractive bloom. Like the leaves they aren't the same. And, you know, in bonsai, a lot of times when you're having to do prunings and such all the time, you know, your trees don't always look the best. They're not always looking show ready, you know? But why not be able to like have them look great all season? So this is what I'm talking about. So these are my trident maples. See, it's like a ton of leaves, and I know that the trees themselves are healthy, but this is the second or third budding out of leaves since I took them out of dormancy in February. So they bud out inside, they come out, those leaves burn up, and then a new set comes in and it's kind of crowded, but you don't want to prune them again. And then some more leaves come in behind them, and you got some that are crispy and some that, you know, are healthy looking, but it just doesn't look right. So my idea is, rather than try to extend the growing season at the beginning of growing season, why don't I bring them inside around the same time but leave them upstairs? And then when there's about 6 to 8 weeks, definitely more like 8 weeks, so basically January and February, I will bring them down into the basement and put them into dormancy in the later winter. And then I will bring them out and put them straight outside when there's no longer going to be frost. So their first budding out from dormancy is going to be when they come outside. So they're not going to do the transition inside to outside this time. So that is one huge modification that I'm excited about. I don't know why I never thought about it before, but I'm going to try to cheat a little bit, extend the growing season, get them inside, and then put them into dormancy myself when the basement is actually cold, because the basement won't really get that cold. So a lot of them don't immediately go into dormancy when I do it in December anyways. Whew. All right, so hopefully you understood all that, and if you want to shed some light on something similar that you've tried, or if this is what you do, please confirm. If you have questions and wanting some clarity on what the hell I'm talking about, that's cool. No problem. You could leave those too. But I think I have a really solid plan going into this winter, so I'm really excited. I got one last thing. I got the paddle boards put down in the basement. So even though paddleboard season's over and that's sad, it did free up my room right here. As you see, I've got mulch that way, and I'm going to do the same over here, and I'm going to build up the pots that are staying out for the winter. I'll build up the mulch. I'll put these pots all nice and tight together, and then I'll surround them with mulch again. And this way I can keep them moist and warmer than they would be just like, you know, sitting out up here. as we do get below zero for quite some time here in Northwest Connecticut. So now, without further ado, that's going to do it for today's episode of Jarhead Bonsai, y'all. I just want to thank all my broskies out there for the kind birthday wishes. And it's been a great year. Healthy birth of our daughter. Franny's doing great in New York City. And I'm just extremely happy with my bonsai collection. So thank you for growing the channel with me. If it weren't for y'all, I would just be talking to myself. So have a great weekend. Cheers, y'all.